Mr. Shekhar Ramarao, the shadow. The shadow, Mr. Shekhar Ramarao.
How many of you here have got a teenager at home? Wow, excellent. How many of you have experienced the teenage transition at home? Quite a bit. How many of you do not know, like me, how the transition will happen? Here is a simple test. That's where my son is sitting with the gadget. As a poor dad standing here. Sonny, can you please come here? Son, can you please come here? Sonny, I'm talking to you. So this son gets up. What? I've been talking to you, son. Didn't you hear that? I was screaming. I did that. I did hear you. Didn't you see? I was nodding my head. But why didn't you answer me, my son? I did! By nodding my head. Now what happens towards the end of this conversation? If you, like me as a dad, had to sip a glass of water and try to get your suit out and no, that's it. If you're in this state, 100% sure you are dealing with a teenager at home. Friends, it's very easy to understand a teenager growing by their outlook. You can see them growing. But have you ever thought or dreamt of what are they going through in their inner feeling, their character change, and what sort of phase they get through this life? I probably would like to borrow a small story from Sadhguru, where he talks about how the teenage transition happens at every single home. This message is particularly for the good parents like us here. He says, just because you've given birth to your son or a daughter, you don't own them. They have their own life. They have their own thought processes and they have their own way of thinking. And now you as a parent do not recreate another you in them. That's the message what he is trying to say. The second message is, when they go through this transition phase, be with them as a friend. Do not be an authoritative parent or a guardian. Friends, every single character in the world has got another side. Some call it as the split personality, and some call them as inner soul. But I call them as the shadow. Many a times, the shadow overtakes the real man. I was shocked to read one story in Chennai. This has happened a few months ago, where a 23-year-old grown-up kid destroyed a 6-year-old girl child. He went on killing his mom as well. Do you know what was the reason? He was completely unattended when he was growing up in his life. This is just one sample of the character what we get to see every day in our life. We come across a lot of characters like this in our lives, where people create troubles, ego clash, war over religion, and whatnot. This society is full of shadows when they are not able to accept who they are and what they are in this world. It's absolutely easy to blame the society or people around us, stating that you are the reason for this change in the world. But have we ever thought it all starts at a home? Have we ever thought we are the reason for what we are here today? Unfortunately, no. Many families today are not able to bring up their kids with that friendly manner. The very reason could be because of working couple, single parent, economical situations, etc. But what are we going to do about it? Here are my few recommendations. When they grow up as a teenager, be with them as a friend. Let them think through. Let them be on their own. Do not try to recreate them. At the same time, teach them the values and ethics. Always tell them, remember, whatever action you are trying to do today, that is going to have a reaction later in your life. Life is like a boomerang. Abraham Lincoln once said, character is like a tree and reputation is like a shadow. Your shadow is what you think of.